When you retire, it's supposed to be the golden years, right? But some senior citizens right now cannot afford to retire and relax. According to numbers from the Federal Reserve, the average senior citizen had $50,000 in debt in 2010. That's up 83% from 2001. Wow. So what could be a bigger problem here? Well, a third of seniors are using credit cards to cover basic living expenses. That's according to an advocacy group for low and middle income Americans right now. So if you find yourself in that black hole, we have somebody who can help. Don't worry. Karen Lee is a certified financial expert. So, Karen, we all are just kind of curious, how did this happen? How did senior citizens get themselves into this spot, all this debt?
Well, as we were saying, there is a very big generational shift that's occurred in America from the 1950s and earlier, where people were much more conservative about money, planned to pay off their mortgage for retirement. Credit cards didn't even exist at that point. So we've lived in a very affluent time. Housing prices ran up. So it just makes sense that people got more liberal with their spending and their housing and such.
Right. And then, of course, the recession, I'm sure that didn't make it any
Only
better.
added insult to injury. And when those housing prices plummeted, people got themselves in a really tough situation.
Okay, so people are in a tough situation right now, a lot of them.
Absolutely.
The first thing, though, let's help them get out of debt and get help here. The first thing you can do, you say, is debt consolidation.
Well, for people that have excess consumer debt, credit cards, I want to just say, yeah, look at debt consolidation. This is a service you can go to where they will go to your creditors, attempt to get the interest rates reduced for you, and then they'll bundle all your debt into one monthly payment. And that will bring your payments lower. So that can help you get out of consumer debt sooner.
Okay, and the next thing on your list, refinance your mortgage. Are you saying like go from a 30-year one to a 15?
Well,
Because that's kind of scary for some people.
What I'm really saying for the person who is already in retirement is if you have a long-standing mortgage and you haven't refinanced it, we are at historically low rates still. So a refinance, even if it's for the same length of time, can bring your payment down. Okay, another option would be downsize.
Yeah.
So people are so attached to the home that they raise their children in and such. However, it might be the time to, if you can, sell, get into a smaller home. If you're underwater, though, Natasha, you might not have that option. And at that point, consider renting a room out. Especially if you live
That's a good idea.
If you live in a college town, I mean, you might have a lot of takers, and that can give you some extra monthly income.
Okay, just backtrack,
right.
check them.
Right.
Also, you talk about talking to your adult children.
Right. So what I mean here is that parents are reluctant to ask for help, but I encourage them to let their adult children know about their financial situation and their struggles. You help them get to where they are generally. They might be willing to help you. And one idea is that the adult child buys the house from the parent, and you can do that in a private sale.
Okay.
Keeps making the mortgage payment, but lets mom and dad stay there. And then at their death, it inherits by the child.
Okay, does that make it less tricky financially?
Well, not necessarily that, but it just can help the parents stay in their home when they can no longer afford to make that payment.
Okay, and lastly, a warning about reverse mortgages.
Just beware, beware. They can work for some people, but read the fine print. Get some legal advice. Remember, that's going to get you out of the principal and interest payment, but you're still going to owe property taxes and insurance on your house. So it doesn't solve all of it. And I see people doing it and then losing their house anyway. So I just want to say a word of caution.
Yeah.
Get some legal advice.
Okay, and of course the best way is to a better job, planning of your retirement in advance, right?
Yes, yes.
How do people right now who aren't in their retirement years yet, how do they plan?
If you are 5, 10, 15 years from retirement, the time to start planning is right now. Remember, have the goal of getting out of debt completely and ideally paying off your house. The first thing you can do, immediately refinance to a shorter mortgage period. What you said before, go from a 30 to a 15 or even a 10-year mortgage. Your payment's going to go up, but it's going to force you to pay that house off before retirement. Also, invest as heavily as possible into your 401k. So what this is going to do is create a pot of money that you can turn into income for you later. You're not going to make it on just Social Security. It was never.
It used to be that way, where that was the hope, but not anymore today.
Originally, it was that it was one leg of a three-legged stool with your savings and your pension being the other two legs. Now the pensions are generally a thing of the past.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is really boost up that retirement savings. And if you're 50 or older, you can put $23,000 away.
That's a nice chunk.
It's a lot.
All right.
It's a lot.
Certified financial planner Planner Karen Lee, if I can speak. Thank you so much. You've helped us so much.
Thank you
Think
for
about some
having me.
new ways for people who are in the mess right now, stuck trying to get out of it, and those who can plan ahead. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Natasha.